John, psychologists claim you can tell a lot about a person by the sort of jokes he laughs at. By making people laugh, do you feel you have a better insight into human nature?
That's difficult again. They were getting into the psychology of humor. I'm sure they can. I suppose if you had a battery of tests with 100 and 150 jokes, all of those tests are built on, of course, many thousands of surveys, like Rorschach or anything else, and I'm sure you could find out get a profile on a person by the type of thing he laughs at because of certain kind of jokes.
They all said we never could be happy. They laughed at us and how. But ho, 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 who's got the last laugh now?
This is Riley Laurence, and you are checking out The Life of Ryely, my weekly podcast. You are checking it out on www.borntokillcomedy.com. Facebook, Born to Kill Comedy. Maybe you're checking me out on Twitter or YouTube, borntokillcomedy.com. As I start every one of my weekly podcasts, I would like to present here, this is my 100-year contract, signed, sealed, delivered, and executed, which is going to guarantee that this show is going to run on the internet, provided there is internet, provided there is a place for it to be seen for the next 100 years. It is self-funded, trust fund, locked in, set up, so it takes the pressure off. Welcome to the show. What I'm going to talk about this week, and I always forget to set the timer because I always end up ranting way too long and running over. So, whatever. You know what? In 100 years, who's going to care? I want to talk a little bit this week about what's going on in Los Angeles, the home where I live, and I happen to love Los Angeles. I am an expatriated New Yorker. I'm a diehard New Yorker. I like to tell people I still feel like I'm on vacation, but there's a lot of weird things that go on that New Yorkers would not put up with in New York that exist here in Los Angeles. And one of them is, especially here in southern Los Angeles, is they've created a ban on plastic bags that you get from the market. And at first, I was ready to lose my mind because I thought that it was self-imposed from the supermarkets and not from the county, but it is a county issue. And at first I said, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to steal. I know it sounds bad. I'm going to steal one of their child shopping carts. You know, the small, they make a child shopping cart, right? And I'm going to strap it to the top of my Dodge Durango, okay? My giant SUV. I'm going to strap it up there. And every time I go, and they're going to say, do you need a bag? I'm going to say no. And I'm going to take my groceries in a little basket, and I'm going to put the basket into the top of my, into the shopping cart that would be on the top of my Durango. And maybe I'd have a little sign there. F you, Ralph's, right? That's where I shop, is at Ralph's. Ralph's is like the Sloan's or the D'Agostino's, or maybe not even quite the food emporium of the East Coast, but Ralph's, right? And I happen to like the one Ralph's. It's so ghetto, but it's on Sunset Boulevard. It's the rock and roll Ralph's is what they call it, because 2 o'clock in the morning in the 90s, you would have nothing but rock and rollers in there. And I've seen some, it's where they filmed The Big Lebowski in the beginning scene, you know, where he's walking and he has to write a check. And I kind of dig it, but it is a little ghetto in there. And it turns out, back to the bags, it turns out that it's a county issue. And apparently, you know, the environmentalists, they're claiming that the bags are showing up into the ocean, which they are. I'm not saying that's not a problem, but I don't think banning the bags is making any sense whatsoever, because now you have to buy a plastic bag, which is a thicker plastic bag, costs 15 cents, probably worse for the environment. Or you could bring your own bag, your own recyclable bag. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against the environment. I'm for the environment. I need an environment. I'm against stupidity for the environment, like global warming. But that's not the topic of this conversation. I was ready to lose my mind, and what I've discovered through a little bit of research, and by the way, Google it, the bags that you now have to bring, like it'll be like a green recyclable, or it kind of looks like a canvasy situation. The bags that you bring, or even whatever bag you decide to put it in. Let's say you buy a steak, or you buy your chicken or whatever, and you bring your own bag, and you put all your groceries in there, or any kind of uncooked meat product, okay? You throw it in the trunk of your car, or in the back seat of your car, which is, in California, usually hot. You drive home, even a 5-minute drive, they say, even a 5-minute drive. The amount of bacteria, E. coli type bacteria, that has started to breed there is in the parts per tens of million, okay? So you're making a new strain of E. coli, and I'm for the environment, but I'm for not getting sick first, right? Either if I come to your house, which is unlikely, and you're going to make something for me, or, well, not because I wouldn't come to your house, but it's unlikely you would make something for me. With my particularities, right? Who wants me to come over? And my first question is, she goes, hey, Riley, you want to come over for dinner? And I tell this girl, sure. And she'll come over and she'll say, well, what do you want me to make you? And I'd be such a dick. Before I even say what you'd make me, I'd say, how did you get it home? Did it come home in an environmentally friendly bag? Because in that case, I'll just eat some dry cereal, which is even more unlikely if you do me. But you know, I'd be that guy. How did you get it home? Not how did you cook it, but how did it get here is more important. It's more important to me. Oh my God. So I'll get to stupidity. So let's say, which is very unlikely, and if you carry one of these bags, how often do you wash it? Right? You would think, well, if it's got this, if what he said, Google it, is true, then I should probably wash it every time. Right? Which makes sense. And I would say, yeah, sure, wash it every time. But now how good is that for the environment? Right? Now how much water are you wasting by having to wash your bag? It's probably not the smartest thing in the world, right? We're already having a water shortage here. In fact, I read in the news just this week, they're trying to now go bring back the toilet to tap water reclamation, if that's a word, the reclaiming. But I'm going to use it. I'm going to call it the reclamation, which is maybe a combination of reclaiming and Asians, reclamation. Oh, it's a word. I'm going to use the word. You know what I mean. The reclaiming of this water, where they filter the toilet water through 2 processes. Then they send it to an ionization plant, and then they let it seep into the natural land, right, which acts as a filter, and then it comes out and you could just drink it. Good luck with that. And they call me crazy for drinking Kabbalah water, right? You're going to start drinking toilet to tap water. But that's not the point. The point is that you're now wasting water to clean out your bag to protect the environment. And I don't need to tell you that 80% of the world, maybe I do need to tell you, because here it is, 80% of the world doesn't have clean drinking water. People are dying all over the world from not having clean drinking water, and soon to be in Los Angeles if they go toilet to tap water. But my point is that in Africa, children are dying, people are dying in Africa because they don't have clean drinking water. You think they care about the bags? The irony is, in Africa, you can get a plastic bag to carry water, but you can't get the water. You get a plastic bag. You think, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's pointless. I mean, they have so many other issues that are bad for the environment. We have 12.8 million undocumented illegals in this country that are sucking off without putting back in. And I'm not against people coming to this country, but I don't want to say Mexicans, but they're coming from Mexico. They're coming from Mexico. And now they're washing up on our shores in boats and swimming in tunnels. They're washing up on our shores, but they don't get rid of the Mexicans, illegals. Only the plastic bags. Now, the only way to get rid of the Mexicans, if they wash up on our shores carrying their stuff in plastic bags, then we deport them. But if they come with paper bags, we don't know. But that's not the point. It makes me crazy, right? It makes me crazy. And I'm supposed to be an environmentally friendly person. And then every once in a while, you'll hear something like, for instance, 200 million gallons of untreated raw sewage was accidentally spilled into the Santa Monica water basin, right? They closed all the beaches down. 200 million gallons of has spilled, untreated. They had to close the beaches down, and they look at me crazy because I got to walk out of Ralph's, you know, and they tell me, would you like to buy a bag? Look at my life, lady. Look at my life. What do I have here? I've got a block of Ralph's, no frills, cheddar cheese. I've got a bottle of Ernest and Julio Crapo wine. Maybe it's even in a box sometimes, right? I drink fine wine. I'm not a snob, but my point is I got cheap wine and cheese and maybe some kosher pickles. This is my dinner and a Scott toilet paper roll, right? The Scott tissue, 1,000 sheets, right? It'll last forever. I don't know what it is about girls, and I don't want to digress on this, but I swear, women, and you know it's true. I don't understand what it is, but I see you in the supermarket, and I'm not just talking about Costco's, wherever you are, you're carrying, it's the 24-pack or the 48-pack, like you're like a Sherpa carrying your toilet paper. And what are you doing with all that toilet paper? And I guarantee, I understand, you've got twice to use it, right? Twice. But how bad is that for the environment? And you're schlepping and pushing. I mean, I don't want to work myself up, but I'll tell you something. This is what I do when I go and I don't want to buy the bag, because now, by the way, the paper bag you have to buy, which used to be free. There's no regulation on the paper bag. The paper bag, they will tell you now, is 10 cents, but the guy says, you're going to need two. What do you mean? I don't even have a lot of stuff. You're going to need two. Why am I going to need two? Because one doesn't work anymore. Because now the paper, it's so thin and the handles fall off. So you sit outside and you sit outside in the parking lot, and people in Los Angeles, you see them, they're schlepping and trying to carry, and you got to hold it from the bottom. The whole place is going crazy. Women chasing toilet paper as it's tumbling and rolling down it's just, the place is going crazy. And when it really makes me nuts, right? This is what makes me want to go down to SeaWorld and kick a whale in the vagina, okay? That's how it makes me feel about the environment. I can go into the produce section. The produce section. You know when you want to get your produce? I said that 3 times. Obviously, you're not going to get ice cream in the produce section. But you could get all of the thin plastic produce bags that you want. All of them, right? You can take, so I take 9 and 10 of those right off the reel. I stick them in my pocket. And when the guy goes, you want to buy a bag? I said, no, I brought my own bag. And they look freaked out because I take them out like a magician taking, you know what? They're free over there. Why should the bags cost anything? The paper bags, when the bags are free. I understand that the county says now you got to charge 10 cents or 15 cents for a plastic bag, but you can't give it away. I get that. They didn't say anything about the paper bags, but all of a sudden, Ralph's now and other places, you want to buy a bag, it's 10 cents. For the paper was free. Nothing changed. What changed? The plastic should be 10, 15 cents because that's what the county says. The money goes to them. But the paper, they didn't say anything about. Why is the paper? Because now you have an opportunity to charge us for the paper bags. And I know it sounds like I'm being a little crazy, but this is just my life, friends. Look, I'm frothing because it makes me so crazy. I'm frothing. Anyway. That's the environment. That's the world we live in. I try to be a conscientious person. I'm going to kick a whale in the vagina. I'll see you next time. You're watching The Life of Ryely. My name is Ryely Laurence. I need to put a bag over my head now for the next 10 seconds.